Now I will explain the movie Ice Age. The couple is shown at the beginning of the film. They were moved to a new apartment. A man named Rogue is shown bringing some things into his house. His wife Gail stored things in the house. Gail notices an old refrigerator in the new apartment. The owner left it at this house. Gail was worried about the fridge. There is something wonderful about old technology, Gail says on it, mocking, yes, it has this ugly engine on it. Wants to set up a new fridge. But Ruse couldn't afford a new fridge. Gail ignores her husband's cleverness. As they leave this number, they think they will enjoy a drink, because they were tired of shifting. When Rogue goes to get some ice from the fridge, she finds it covered in chunks of ice. He just takes the ice out of the freezer and puts it in the drink. They sit together and celebrate the happiness of their house. After taking a sip of the drink, he sees the structure in the drink. When he realized it was an animal, he couldn't believe his eyes. He shows Gail an ice cube and asks, "Do you see anything in it?" Gail immediately brings the magnifying glass. They notice a small creature frozen in an ice cube. They were shocked and confused after seeing the creature. It was so small that they noticed that this little creature was hunting. They noticed spears in her body. They were even more shocked after watching. Gail immediately pulls out all the ice cubes from the fridge. Here, a middle-aged civilization is shown to be at work inside the refrigerator. Time in the fridge was running out fast. 1 second equals 1 week in the fridge. The husband-wife was shocked to see this. How is this possible? They wondered. The citizens also stared at them. They were small, so they considered them giants. Even then, they don't have a problem with them. After some time, Rogue buries the creature in her houseplant. Gail once again makes fun of the little creature they find from the ice cube. When they open the fridge, they notice that the town has turned into an industrial age from the middle. In a short time because they were away from the fridge for a short time. But centuries passed in the city. Huge buildings were built in this city. Rogue was sad to see all this. He missed the time they saw in the beginning. What do they consider them? Do they consider them to be God? Meanwhile, he sees 2 construction workers talking in a freezer. We see those mad giants every day, they said. We're sick of seeing broccoli in Gail's teeth. While you see an industrial community changing into a modern community, the buildings there turned into a superstructure. He sees little ones flying with him. Rogue mistook them for planes and they witnessed the passage of time. Rogue was surprised and thinks, if it is similar to our world, what comes after this modern age? Meanwhile, they notice a lightning object nearby. Rogue is shocked. What is it? He moves closer to see it. Then it falls a long distance with a hard jerk. Gail moves over to help him. She noticed that his face was burnt. They noticed it was a launcher. The war was going on when they approached it. Everything was done there. They closed the freezer because they didn't want to escalate the conflict. Later, they order a pizza and enjoy the meal. It has now been almost 1 hour that they have not seen the freezer. Is the war over or not? Rogue says we have to open the fridge again. This time they were afraid. They were afraid to see everything destroyed. After opening the fridge, he wonders. The war ended and the little people got everything back. They also notice small flying cars there. They shone like pearls in the city. They compare it to their world. It was a futuristic world with sky-talking buildings that gave it a nice look. After that, the city turns into a pyramid. There were many lines associated with it. Rogue and Gail assumed they all lived in a pyramid. The pyramid structure begins to engulf the entire city within it. It explodes and turns into a huge wall of energy. Thanks to her, silver sparks spread throughout their kitchen. They stared at it. They considered it part of the fantasy world. The sparks looked like fireflies. Later, the sparks are collected and returned to the freezer. Everything disappeared in an instant. They were confused by this. Rogue believed he would return, but Gail believed it was over. In fact, all this shows the removal of the world. Rogue turns off the fridge and they hug. They saw a sketch of humanity in a few hours and observed the past, future, and present. The following morning, the couple returns to their normal lives. They still have some questions about yesterday in their mind. He sees the freezer and tension again. When the little people come back, they ate dinosaur meat. They were running from a dinosaur. That is, the beginning of humanity is now shown. This film also ends with a shot of the pair. They were again busy observing the animals in their natural habitat. This movie shows the beginning, development, and end of the world. Man's journey from the natural environment to modern times is very well explained. The refrigerator in this story represents the concept of humanity. The couple shows the behavior of people. When a fridge war starts, the fridge shuts down. They were self-absorbed. This shows human indifference to the environment. Finally, the appearance of life in the face of the Powerball represents the end of humanity. This is also where this movie recap ends. Thank you for your time.